Today is a glorious Saturday morning, and you know what that means? An excellent day to make Necromunda Terrain. But before we do anything else, let's first make some go-go juice. Cheap vodka. I might have pretzels for breakfast, or lunch maybe? I don't know. Tasty! Hair in my mouth. Okay. Necromunda Terrain. So what I got here is a piece of terrain. I made it over this week. My goal with making my Necromunda Terrain for an upcoming casual Necromunda round robin tournament is I don't want to spend money on it, obviously. So this is just made from a can, popsicle sticks. I did buy foam board, which isn't too expensive, and kitty litter. So when you're making your Necromunda Terrain, there's a few things that I recommend you do first. The absolute first thing I recommend you to do is play the game. And why do I say that? Because movement rules and cover rules are very important. And if you play a game of Necromunda on subpar terrain, it's not that fun, at least in my opinion. The better the terrain is, the better the game is inherently. So that's what I first recommend you to do. Secondly, as you're making your pieces of terrain, keep in mind where models will be and how they'll interact with the piece, and also how the piece itself will interact with other pieces on the board. So the first thing, models on the piece of terrain, obviously ladders. They help characters or your gangers get up to different levels. You can have them either fixed on the piece like I do right here, or you can have your ladders separate from pieces and allow people to place them wherever they are. I recommend you do both because it makes the piece itself more viable if it has a ladder that always comes with it. But if there's other pieces that don't have ladder options, then placing ladders everywhere just makes the piece of terrain itself feel different every time you play. So for those who know how cover works, if a model's in the open, like these two are right here, then they get no covers. That means they're easier to hit. If they're in half cover, or less than half cover, so like this lead belcher would be in less than half cover, then there'd be a small penalty to shoot at him. Then if they're in full cover, which means more than half of the piece is showing, but still part of it's showing, that's an even bigger penalty. And of course, if you can't see the model, you can't shoot at it. Also with Necromunda, elevation is very important. It's not that important in other games of Warhammer. Mordheim, it's also important, but Mordheim is a skirmish game similar to this. So with your pieces, you want pieces that are ground level, so level 0, and then you want more pieces, so you only want a few of those pieces. You want more pieces that have a level 1 option, then a couple pieces that have a level 2 option, which will be, the way I try to scale them up is there's about 3 to 4 inches between each level to try and keep them at least similar, so it's easier to place walkways between them. And then you want one or two pieces that go to level 3 or 4. So that way it keeps the game more fun. Who's doing a leaf blower outside? Anyway, and then secondly, Gives you more things to shoot at or hide at. So I built these guys last night while I was watching Thundercats. I'm going to use them as my Ogren gang. Some lead belchers from Warhammer Fantasy. Conveniently enough, 4 of them come in the box, and I only have 4 Ogrens in my gang. So we'll see how it works. I haven't decided what gang I'm going to play for the Necromunda tournament. So we'll see. I have about 7 people who are interested in playing. Anyway, let's move on to that, from that piece to this piece, just real quick. Since this video is kind of a overview. Hello, kitty. So this is a piece made from when I worked at H.H. Gregg. It's just, it used to be a little styrofoam thing holding a TV monitor. And then as you can see, it broke because I made this 6 years ago in high school. Maybe even more than that. And but it's actually better that they're broken up now, because as you can see, this is from this crease to this crease is 3 feet. Necromunda generally takes on approximately 4 foot by 4 foot, so this is quite a large piece of terrain. So in my opinion, it's better that it's broken up. And that way you can arrange it in different styles. So yeah, there's some repairs I'm going to do to these. I'm going to shorten this down a little and bevel it a little more. But here's another tip for Necromunda Terrain. You want to keep in mind how models shoot out of the piece of terrain. So like this or like that. But also how they will shoot into the terrain. And what I mean by this is if you have a guy right here and he wants to shoot in there, he goes on Overwatch, so that means he'll be prepared to shoot anyone he can see. Well, let's just say for a second that he can't see this model, and if this model runs in front, bam, bam, bam. So you can get those shots in. However, this model cannot see through that crease, so if she couldn't see over this, then she couldn't shoot at all. So that is another important thing that not many people, I at least, read about. But there are some additional modifiers I'm going to do to this. I'm going to make some wooden platforms here so the models can sit up on there. Because more levels are better. But yeah, I have a long way to go making Necromunda Terrain. I have more pieces than this. I actually have a bag of really old cardboard buildings that I made back in the beginning of high school, so gosh, that was a while ago. But these are super easy cardboard buildings. Made about half a dozen in my spare time after school. They're okay. I don't think they're ideal, but they're better than nothing, and at least better than the Necromunda pieces that actually come with the game. Like with those catwalks that don't have any cover at all, so they're death traps, and every catwalk is like that. So you shouldn't have everyone. You need to have at least 2 or 3 catwalks that are death traps, and other ones that provide partial cover, and then one that provides total cover, like a pipe or something. But anyway, I'm going to go finish my super juice, and I'm going to spray paint that and work on these. But this is a quick terrain update. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing these, but we'll see. Alright.